since 1963, 1970. How many decades now? And we still haven't achieved this basic objective. How could Nkrumah be far better than us in this generation? How is it possible that they are better or they were better than us in this generation? This generation must sit up. We must manage our country better. And let's use this National Farmers' Day to remind ourselves of our failure. We have failed. And we must remind ourselves of this failure so that we can sit up and do the right thing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable Deputy Minister, please, I'll give you 5 minutes to wind up. We've discussed it a lot. A lot of people have spoken.
Thank you.
The majority leader has, done our job for you.
Thank you, sir.
Just give us 5 minutes wind up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that tomorrow we are celebrating farmers across the country. It marks the 41st anniversary under the theme Feed Ghana, Eat Ghana, and Secure the Future. As you all know, it was instituted in 1985, and so far it's been good. It's created some form of healthy competition among farmers. But one thing is important, that farmers are indeed happy. Farmers across the country are happy. 1, because we are instituting the Farmers Service Center. 2, because we are improving our irrigation. 3, because we are giving money to the buffer stock to buy the excesses from them. 4, we are establishing processing factories across the country. And 5, with the implementation and the launch of the Nkukon Kitinkiti, we are making sure that poultry becomes easy and affordable to most Ghanaians across the country. One of my colleagues said Galamsey is an issue, but I have never seen any government more committed to fighting Galamsey than this NDC government. Currently, we have distributed over 1,000 water pumps seized from these Galamsey sites, and all these water pumps have been taken to non-Galamsey areas where they are using it for irrigation. Wow. And so when we hear that the farmers are not happy, I beg to differ. Yes. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, what I would want to say is that this whole week I've been in Ho, and it's incredible to see the amount of work that some of these universities have presented, especially their research work. Yeah. And what we need to do, as a matter of fact, is to be able to bridge the gap between some of these research work and then the business community. And it is very important that when you come there tomorrow, you see the amazing work that some of these Ghanaian universities are turning out. In conclusion, I would like to make some certain remarks. 1, I think that each politician here, whether you are elected or appointed, you should be able to own a farm or a processing center. I think that would be very important. The second one is that I think it's about time that Parliament itself has a farm. We should be able to institute a farm, a parliamentary farm, that will become the model for most of us. The third one is that we should be able to institute district farms across the country, so that in fact, all these district assemblies will be able to own farms and own processing centers. In conclusion, I would like to say that indeed the farmers are happy. Everyone is happy with the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Everyone is happy with the majority, which is the NDC government. And they are looking forward to the next 3 years, where we'll make sure that farming becomes easy, accessible, affordable, and making sure that food is indeed on the table for everybody. On this note, I would want to wish all the farmers a happy Farmers' Day, and also encourage households to be able to set up their farms so that they would have some backyard farming to do. And I'm also inviting each and every one of you to Ho. When you come, I'll make sure I'll take good care of you. Yeah. Thank you so much. And God bless you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, this weekend, we are saying farewell to one of our colleagues who passed on to eternity. And I think it would be fair and befitting to pay our last respect by way of giving tribute in his memory. I will invite the Minority Chief Whip to read the tribute of our fallen hero, Honorable Ernest Kumi.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I begin with a quotation from the scriptures. Psalm 116, verse 15. I quote, "Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints," unquote. Speaker, today, with hearts weighed down by grief, yet lifted by gratitude, we bid farewell to our colleague, our brother, a friend, the Honorable Ernest Kumi. His passing on 7th July 2025 remains a deep wound in our collective spirit, a reminder of the fragility of life and the profound impact of life lived with purpose. Honorable Kumi's journey to Parliament was not merely a political ascent. It was a story of a man who refused to quit, a man whose resolve was stronger than the storms that confronted him. He was a fighter in every sense, principled, courageous, and anchored firmly in the belief that God's time is always the best. He contested the 2020 general elections and narrowly lost. Yet, as was his nature, he rose again. He won the confidence of his party as the 2024 parliamentary candidate on the ticket of the MPP. In December 2024, the good people of Akwatia spoke clearly and overwhelmingly, entrusting him with their mandate. Speaker, even when his victory was challenged, the Honorable Kumi stood undoubted as a learning colleague of the noble legal profession, who valued the supremacy of the courts and the rule of law. He fought calmly and courageously through the legal processes until justice prevailed. That was Yao, a fighter, resilient and unwavering. On 7th January 2025, he took the oath of office, affirming what his people already knew. He was the legitimate member of Parliament for Akwatia. In Parliament, he served diligently on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee and other assignments. Whether at the committee level or on the floor, he distinguished himself for brilliance, clarity, and deep insight. Speaker, despite heckling and needless interruptions, he spoke with the calm authority of a man who understood his duty. He debated with wisdom, argued with conviction, and carried himself with dignity. Indeed, he was an orator of uncommon grace. But beyond his words was his spirit, a spirit that taught us, his colleagues, priceless lessons. His life taught us to fight on no matter the odds. His steady demeanor encouraged us to persevere, even when the path seemed impossible. His focus reminded us that victory belongs to those who refuse to be distracted. In these moments, when our caucus carries an enormous weight of holding the government accountable, though few in number, yet mighty and quality in purpose, his example reassures us that we shall reach the seats of victory soon. He has left us not only memories, but motivation, not only sorrow, but strength for the journey ahead. His life itself becomes a message to us. Do not give up. Do not fear. The overbearing majority stand firm for truth, discipline, courage will always prevail. Speaker, beyond the chamber walls, the Honorable Kumi was a brother, always available, always willing to help, always ready to join a colleague's campaign, no matter how far the constituency, no matter how tight his schedule. His selflessness was inspiring. His discipline was unwavering. A man who respected time and honored every obligation. But today, as we honor his public life, we cannot ignore the deep personal loss felt by those closest to him. To his aged mother who nurtured him, to the man who came to admire, we say, your son fought a good fight, finished his course, and kept the faith. 2 Timothy 4, verses 7. Take comfort in knowing that the values you instilled in him, courage, humility, truth, became the very qualities that define his service to Ghana. To his wife, a woman of quiet strength, who stood faithfully beside him through every political battle and personal challenge, may God's peace, which surpasses all understanding, continue to guard your hearts. Philippians 4, verse 7. Know that you are not alone. The Minority Caucus stands firmly with thee. To his lovely children, who must now grow with the memory of a father who loved them deeply and worked tirelessly to give him a better future. Your father's legacy lives in you. Speaker, walk proudly, for he was a man of honor. We, his colleagues, will always remain within reach as fathers, as uncles, as guides, and as pillars you can lean on. To the entire Kumi family, may the God of all comfort wrap his arms around you. This loss is heavy, but you do not carry it alone. As the MPP Minority Caucus, we reaffirm our commitment to stand with the family not only in this season of grief, but in the many days and years to come. Yah was one of us. His family is our family. His children, our children. His memory is our shared inheritance. The Speaker, and as Yah Kumi lived well, he served well, he loved well. And though he was left our side, his legacy will remain a shining light in Parliament, in Akwetia, in the heart of all who had the privilege of knowing him. I thank you, Speaker.
Yes. Yes. Honorable Eden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statements in memory of my dear friend and brother, Ernest Yah Kumi. Mr. Speaker, long before we were sworn in on the 7th of January 2025 as members of the 9th Parliament, Ernest and I have been very good friends. We have appeared in the media on numerous occasions, and on many occasions after our debates in the media, we drove to restaurants to have breakfast together or have lunch together, and we have always been very good friends for so long. Mr. Speaker, in 2023, I was in Pretoria for a program, and after Ernest noticed a post I made on social media, he called me and said he was in Johannesburg. He drove all the way from Joburg to Pretoria just to come and meet me, and that for me defines how deep our friendship was, beyond politics. Mr. Speaker, my pain at the loss of Ernest goes beyond just losing a colleague in the House of Parliament. But it is a pain that also cuts deep because since I got to know Ernest, he's always had one dream: to become a lawyer. On many occasions, Ernest encouraged me to pick forms to study the LLB program, and I kept postponing it. And for close to 10 years, Ernest dedicated his life to the study of the law. When he got admission to Makola, we all celebrated with him. The first time he was supposed to, he had to repeat, and a few others. Mr. Speaker, to cut a long story short, after so many years of struggling to be called to the bar, just when the fight was over, the battle was over, and he was supposed to be called to the bar in this October, a few weeks before, we lost Ernest. Mr. Speaker, it is pain that we cannot explain. But I want to, on this occasion, remind all of us that indeed, on days like this, let us remember that this life is not ours, but it belongs to the Almighty God. Beyond politics, Ernest was truly a reliable friend and a brother. And many of my colleagues would attest to the fact that usually during lunch or when we are on break, you see me sitting with Ernest at the cafeteria, sharing a meal or sharing a drink. Ernest was a gentleman who lived beyond party politics and who was a true friend to those of us who were close to him. I wish to remind all of us that even as we find ourselves here on tickets of political parties, let us always remember that we are first and foremost Ghanaians, we are human beings, and we must first love ourselves before we place our partisan politics ahead of whatever national interest. Mr. Speaker, I wish his young wife and his family the very best. I pray that God himself should grant them strength. Indeed, it is a very difficult thing that this weekend we will be laying Ernest to rest. I pray that the Lord God Almighty himself will strengthen his family, his party, the NPP, and our friends in the minority. And we pray that his legacy should live beyond him. Indeed, the goal of life is not to live forever, but to create something that will outlive us. Mr. Speaker, with these words, I say thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, M10 to Honorable Professor Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to share few words as we celebrate the memory of our wonderful brother, Ernest Yaokumi, who used to be the Member of Parliament for the good people of Okotia. As Speaker, Ernest Yaokumi, popularly known as Okotia Star Boy, was born on 5th December 1984, and today is 4th December. So tomorrow, he will have been 41 years old. Mr. Speaker, this was a young gentleman full of passion, energy, and drive, and his academic prowess was so telling. Mr. Speaker, after obtaining a BSc in Ports and Shipping Administration from the Regional Maritime University in 2009, he went ahead to obtain an MBA in Corporate Governance from the University of Professional Studies. He also obtained an LLB degree from Mancrest University College, an MSc in Defense and International Politics from Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Mr. Speaker, looking at his pedigree and what he achieved and obtained on the academic ladder, I can say that we have lost a gem. We lost somebody who, but for the brevity of life and death, will have contributed enormously, not only for his constituent and his region, but for the entire nation. Mr. Speaker, you're going to miss him. And standing here this afternoon, I'm saddened because just paying tribute to him, I'm recollecting since I came to this parliament on the 7th of January 2021, we've lost 4 precious souls. It began with the MP for Kumawu, Honorable Philip Baswa, my classmate at secondary school, Chunbakodwa Secondary School. Then our very good friend, John Kuma, Juso. Then Ernest Akotia, and our friend Muta Mohammed. Mr. Speaker, the first three, you could realize, I remember clearly that Philip Baswa, we had a sitting that ended around 11 p.m. We're supposed to take a vote, that didn't happen. It was rescheduled to the next day. I met him in the washroom and I asked him, Philip, how are things moving? He said, I'm fine. The next day, Philip was gone. John Kuma was agile, working so hard. Few moments, he departed. Ernest had a program at Takoradi. He came back on Sunday. The next day, he was gone. What is wrong? Is it that MPs, you're not doing something right? Probably this is time for us to do a deep introspection and see if we can do something differently regarding our lives and how we execute our parliamentary responsibilities. Mr. Speaker, life is short. Life is short. It means that every moment of our lives, every second of our life is precious. So if you have something doing, we must do it now and not tomorrow. Now, Ernest is gone. You don't know who is next. But we are praying to God to give us the strength, to give us the power, at least to contribute our respective quotas to make this country more meaningful. As we celebrate our brother, what we can say is that may God give him comfort. May God give him lasting peace wherever he is as we speak today. And to his family, especially their wife and children, may God provide them with the fortitude, the resolute of mind, and clear direction so that they don't remain comfortless, but the Almighty God, who is the source of our being, will comfort them. And I want to pray with our leadership. Ernest was in this house for about 6 months. 6 months. That's so sad. And I'm thinking that in the Fourth Republic, he might probably be the MP who spent a short time in the House. I might be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. So our caucus, and even the entire House, must take delight in the children and the remaining spouse of our brother, so that we can do something meaningful to memorize his legacy. Ernest, I bid you Godspeed. May God be with you and strengthen you till we meet again someday. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to add my voice to the statement made, eulogizing the memory of our brother, our friend, our comrade, and our colleague, Ernest Yaokumi. Indeed, we are on a journey The day we depart this planet Earth, nobody knows. The way to come, we don't know. When, we don't know. But it's important to remind ourselves that indeed we are on a journey. Either to be taught that you'll be 90 years and above before you pass on. It is evidently clear today that the young are going, the old are going, everybody is going. Mr. Speaker, I've known Ernest Kumi for some time now, especially because of our media engagement. Ernest is one person you can describe as a very passionate person when it comes to MPP politics. He would defend MPP at all costs. But the most beautiful thing about him, after the debates in the studios, so warm a personality, he will walk up to you, where he disagree with you, he will share with you. He will discuss politics, he will discuss business, he will discuss academic life. The Speaker, on that fateful day, a day before his passing, I met Ernest. Then he said in tree, MP Kakra, Mr. Medimachi, me was Mr. Beye Kahumbi. To wait, just to become an MP, people have taken me through all this ordeal, and I encourage him that it's part of life. That Mr. Speaker, life is a struggle. Life is war. And if you are looking forward to a peaceful life, then of course you should look forward to a cemetery or a coffin to go and lie in the cemetery. From the day you are born to the day you exit this planet Earth, Mr. Speaker, you go through a lot of challenges. All of us would have wished that our brother Ernest is in this house with us. The very few months he spent in this house, Mr. Speaker, Ernest didn't allow, this house to intimidate him. Anytime he had opportunity on the floor, we saw him, the confidence with which he made his presentation, as though somebody who has lived in this house for a very long time. And so with time, it was very clear that you all become better and better and better. But fate to have it, he left us when we least expected him to do so. Mr. Speaker, we can only take a cue and a lesson from this, that the work we are doing is very, very demanding. Mr. Speaker, understand, I can't remember the last day I went to bed before it was 2 a.m. And you wake up very early. It's incumbent on all of us to take our health very, very seriously. We should enter the hospital and check. We should know exactly what our health condition is. Sometimes you close very late, you get home, you are still hungry, and you go and eat and go and sleep immediately. Sometimes the time to even exercise itself is a problem. Mr. Speaker, we love Ghana so much, we want to serve Ghana. But we can only do so when we are in good health. And so let me use this opportunity to call on all of us that even as we struggle to serve our constituency and serve Mother Ghana, our health should be a number one priority. Let me also use this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to pray for the wife and children, that God in heaven should strengthen them. God should keep them. One of the things I've noticed for the many years I've been in politics, Mr. Speaker, is that when it happens like this, beautiful speeches are given, people will gather at your funeral ground in the party colors and do all the fanfare. As soon as the body is lowered into the grave, that's the end of the story. Our brother Kumi has young children. It's incumbent on us to assist the wife to take care of those children. It will not be out of place, Mr. Speaker, if Parliament can even put a mechanism in place where when certain things happen, Parliament can extend a hand of support, especially for the young children to go through education. I believe the MPP party that he belongs as well will not go to Akwetia and go and have the burial and come back home. The future of the children is very, very key. We shouldn't leave the burden on only the woman alone. Let us do everything possible so that the children will not miss their father too much. I wish you so well. May he rest peacefully in the bosom of Father Abraham. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let him now come to leadership. Yes. So I'm yielding minority leadership to Honorable Kojo Nkrumah.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity, and it is with a heavy heart that we all contribute to this statement in tribute to our brother Ernest Yaw Kumi. Mr. Speaker, one of the reasons for which, for those of us who had personal relations with him, are so much pained is the fact that he was a man of many dreams. Unfortunately, a good number of them were not fulfilled before his passing. He had dreams of becoming a lawyer and spent many years going through the LLB and even through the QCL preparations, and just on the verge of his qualification. In fact, a day to his moot court, the good Lord called him. For those of us who are familiar, he had personal business dreams. He had just reached the edge of securing the necessary paperwork for the next stage of his business. Fortunately, it didn't materialize. He was just on the verge of putting his daughter in senior high school. Unfortunately, he didn't have the opportunity to see her first day at school. He had dreams of building a good parliamentary career. He would come around legislators, seniors, getting guidance, etc., even before the election. Fortunately, as he was sworn in, there were a lot of legal battles. He didn't have the opportunity to fully express that parliamentary career. He was a man of deep conviction and big dreams, but death has snatched him away from his family, from his region, from his party, from his nation. Mr. Speaker, if there's any glimmer of hope, it will be the fact that, again, for those who know him, he is somebody who had accepted Christ as his Lord and Savior. And so we take consolation in the fact that he will rest in the bosom of the Lord. There are a couple of lessons that I believe we can learn and implement as our best tribute to Yaw. The first being his courage. No matter the difficulty or the impediment you put in his way, Yaw was a man of courage. From his first primaries to the main election, to the court battles. I remember the days when we would go to court with him in Koforidua, and the days when he would not go to the Supreme Court, but upon return, we'll be having conversations. He was a man of courage. No matter what you put him through, even you remember the night before our swearing in here, when the question was put to him by the clerk, he was a man of courage, said he would stand up and do what he believed was right. I believe that the biggest testament we can give to his life is to reflect his courage in the endeavors ahead of us. Mr. Speaker, he was also a man of selflessness. In fact, the Thursday before his unfortunate demise, myself and Honorable Ejari and himself up on the 11th floor in a conversation, and his focus was on how to find some money to pay some school fees for some constituents of his. Friday, he left town to go attend a youth program to be of use to young people in the Western region and to assist another member of parliament in his cause. His selflessness is something that, Mr. Speaker, I believe that we can carry on as our biggest testament to him. We pray for strength, especially this weekend, for his wife and the children, and for the legacy that he has left behind, as short as it was. We pray that the Lord gives us strength to carry it forward. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Majority leadership. I'm yielding it to Honorable Corin Zauda for majority leadership.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I add my voice to the tribute being made on the floor in honor of Honorable Ernest Kumi. I want to say that the news of his death came to me as a shock. Before his death, the Committee on Lands and Natural Resources had a retreat in the Kwau area, or Kropon area, in the Safari Valley, where he actively participated. It was my last encounter with Ernest Kumi. It's not just his participation, but on that day, I recall, during break, Honorable Ernest Kumi walked to me and said he wanted to find time to come to my office to see me. And I asked what he was coming to discuss, asked for some heads up. And Honorable Ernest Kumi indicated that he wanted to stay in this house for long, like I have been, and that he wanted to learn some strategies with which he could stay very long in this house. So that was Honorable Kumi's ambition, to stay long in Parliament, not just for the interest of staying in this house for long, but to be able to serve his people for very long. Unfortunately, he didn't live to do what he planned to do. He's called to eternity. We can only say that may Allah accept his soul and keep him well for us. His life is ended. That is how, in my view, and according to my belief, he was destined to live on this earth. But he's left some legacies: his courage, his determination, what he planned for his constituents must be held. We were all his friends, and so whichever way that we can do to keep some of his dreams, we should come together and do it. In particular, his wife is left and the children. When it happens like this, it becomes very difficult for the woman. I'm sure she's devastated and needs comfort. Leadership, I call on you. You prevailed on Speaker to constitute an ad hoc committee to look into the establishment of a pension scheme for MPs. This situation raises concern for that. The committee has worked, a report has been produced, it is yet to be taken. Mr. Speaker, it's a very important report that this House must put every seriousness to it, so that we can take care of ourselves when we are weak, when we are no more, when we are incapacitated. I am sure this House will do well, or leadership will do well to bring up this report so that we drive it forward to ensure that some situations like this would be properly taken care of. I wish Honorable Ernest Kumi well where he is. May he rest in peace. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, shall we respectfully rise and pray silently for 1 minute in honor of his soul. May the soul of our brother Ernest Kumi and all the departed honorable members rest in perfect peace. Amen. Honorable members, kindly indulge me in 3 minutes suspension, 3 minutes.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much for your indulgence. Yes, Leader.
Speaker, given the mood of the House, we want to pray that we vary the order of business, so that we take item number 6 on the business on the order paper, so that we can take business statements slated for next week. So when that is out of the way, we can come back and deal with the motions, Mr. Speaker.
So we are taking business statement?
Yes, business statements.
Okay.
Yes.
Speaker, we are aligned.
Very well. So before then, let me acknowledge at the public gallery on the left side of my hand, First Century Preparatory School at Aguna Nyakru. They are being led by Jacob Kosimensa, who is the administrator, and the school is located in Agona West constituency. You are welcome, and we wish you a pleasant stay in Parliament. Yes, leader.
Speaker, let me pray you that the majority leader stepped out and indicated that he will come. He's not here, so let me pray that I take this on his behalf.
Very well.
As the chairman of the committee.
Very well.
Thank you very much. Speaker, thank you very much. The business committee met yesterday and considered business for next week. Speaker, we determined that there are a lot of questions still outstanding for the remainder term of the meeting. So we took a decision to slate a lot of the questions for next week alongside taking the committee reports as they come in. So for this sake, we'll take about 42 questions in all. We also expect some formal communication from Mr. Speaker, if any. Out of the questions, we don't have any urgent question as we speak. The 42 questions are all oral questions, so we expect the ministers to come and answer to these questions. Statements have been clearly advertised and indicated, standing the names of the respective members who are the sponsors of these statements. We'll continue to take bills and present papers and also present reports and take them in that order. Motions and resolutions will also be taken. Speaker, we'll continue to take reports on the emanating from the committees regarding the budget estimates as they relate to the motions. Tomorrow is a statutory public holiday, May 5th of December, National Farmers' Day. So that has been indicated. Speaker, so the House will sit on Tuesday throughout the week to Wednesday, Thursday, and up to Friday the 12th. Speaker, we want to urge the committee leadership to ensure that as soon as they conclude considerations of the estimates, they endeavor to get the clerks to the committees to get the reports ready so we can deal with them with alacrity on the floors when they come. Because the sense of the House is that this year we don't want to pass appropriation close to Christmas. We want to do it a number of days before Christmas so that we can join our families. We don't have to be rushing home. I recall that there was one time we left here at the dawn of the 25th. Members have urged leadership that want to avoid that. So, Mr. Speaker, this is the business as arranged by the business committee for next week ending Friday, 12th of December, 2025. I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. See, when you said we left here one occasion at the dawn of 25th, I read from Honorable Abranasari. I could read something from the map that it was rather the dawn of 24th. Is that not the... Yes. Anyway, honorable members, the business statement has been read to us by the Majority Chief Whip. We will invite comments on them. Yes, yes, Honorable Kojo.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity, and I commend the Business Committee for the presentation that they've just done. Mr. Speaker, I've gone through the papers that are supposed to be presented next week. They're important papers, but there are some equally important papers that we have been asking the government to present to Parliament for several months now, and those papers are not being presented. This is about the programs that government has launched. And these programs, first of all, in and of themselves, remember, Mr. Speaker, now that the economic policy doesn't come by motion, we don't approve the economic policy. So the programs that they have mentioned in them, they are not programs that, as was being done previously under the old standing orders, would have received approval when the policy is approved. We keep asking, even if not for the purposes of approval, just present those program documents so that Parliament is seized with it, CSOs, general public, citizens can understand. Mr. Speaker, currently the government has launched 17 programs. The last time we talked about it was about 9. When it got to 11, we spoke about it. Now it's 17, not 1. Such as the Chief Whip is asking, may I give him a list? The AGRIC for Economic Transformation Agenda, launched on the 12th of April 2025, is not before Parliament. 1 million coders program, launched on the 16th of April 2025, is not before Parliament. A Jumerua program, 28th of April 2025, is not before Parliament. National Apprenticeship Program, 1st May 2025, is not before Parliament. Mr. Speaker, when an informal copy of the 24-hour economy document was presented to the Speaker, he actually advised that that one should also be brought and laid. That is also not being. There are several of them. I don't want to take too much time. But I think it's important that government brings these program documents so that scrutiny can be better established. That's my first point.
Yesterday the 24-hour economy was laid here. The bill was laid
No, the
here.
program document. The program document has been approved by Cabinet because that bill will emanate from the program document. It shows the policy direction of government. Previously, we used to approve the economic policy. So once you mention it and then you have that cover, you are fine. It's for their own good because there will be times when a question may come up and then you have the cover that the policy has been approved. So it's for their own good and it's also for the service of, it's also for the benefit of the oversight function. Mr. Speaker, another matter that I would have loved to see in the business statement is a matter of grave concern to a lot of parents and wards across our country today. WASI results were just released. There are distinct worries about the levels of failures in mathematics and, I think, social studies. You would have expected that by now we are programming to at least bring in maybe the Ghana Education Service, the Education Minister, or persons who are associated with it, so that, first of all, we can get an empirical understanding of why. As at now, all you hear is people on radio, everybody giving their own interpretation, anecdotes here and there. It is important that a matter like this, the thousands of students who have been failed, their parents, their entire country, has an understanding of why. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would like to encourage the leadership of the government benches to find a way to program as quickly as possible the Education Minister, maybe with the support of the Ghana Education Service, to appear before us and begin to give us an empirical sense of the why. That way we can tone down on everybody's anecdote and story and reason and what is now becoming unnecessary partisan politicization of the matter and get a clear understanding and, if possible, some interventions to resolve it. Else the fate of thousands of Ghanaian children are at stake. Over 200 and something thousand, we are being told, are at stake, and it's now being reduced to political football. I think, as important as these ones are, this is a matter that should be programmed for urgent attention by Parliament. I thank Mr. Speaker for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Professor Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for indulging me. Mr. Speaker, I just want to bring this matter that has come before the House on several occasions, again, to the attention of leadership. It's a matter that has been overflowed. I'm referring to the defective air conditioners in our offices. I would like to know the updates. Because every time we bring this matter to the fore, we are told that it is being worked upon. We want to know update. If we have begun any procurement processes, let us know how far we have gone, because it is becoming a nuisance. Mr. Speaker, I've also observed that a question that I asked that has been programmed for today has resurfaced again on the business statement for Thursday, 11th of December, question number 316. So I would suggest that probably it is deleted. Speaker, one other issue is, remember I asked a question, 3 questions, number of churches, mosques, and shrines. And the week ending 31st October, on the business statement, 2 of them were programmed. The number of shrines and how many are registered, number of mosques, how many are registered. Strangely, the one on mosques was deleted, and the shrine was programmed for me to ask. Today, I've seen on the business statement that on Friday, on the 12th, they brought the one on churches. Meanwhile, the one on mosques is missing. You see, these questions were asked the same day. They were admitted by Mr. Speaker on the same day. I went to the table office. I looked into the question order book, and they were all admitted and transmitted to the minister. So why do you bring them in piecemeal? The other day was shrine, and it appeared as if I didn't know what I was doing. And next week, it is churches, and mosques is missing. They are related questions. So the 3 should be programmed at the same time. So I'm just pleading with the leader of the business committee, if the one on churches has found expression here, then we should add the mosques. Otherwise, there's no need for it to be programmed for me to ask. And again, the security, the traffic situation, in the country is becoming so alarming, and the traffic, congestion, in town, and this is normal, especially when we are heading towards Christmas. I don't know what is being done about that to ensure that there is some, easiness when we are driving to Parliament and to our respective places of engagement. The Speaker, thank you for indulging me. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Frank Afriye.
Yeah, Speaker, I'm extremely grateful. And let me thank the chairman of the Business Committee. I wish to find out, Speaker, at the start of this very meeting, it's been advertised that we'll be going on recess by 19th of this month. And the leader who had just presented the statement has eloquently mentioned something very significantly, and that has to do with the fact that we need to join our families, not only our families, but as representatives of the people, we have a lot of activities, invitations here and there. I really wish to respectfully find out from leader if the advertised timetable still works, or whether we are looking at extension or reduction, whichever way, if the committee is in a position to let the House know when exactly we'll be going on recess. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me go to Tafo first. Tafo is senior to Menchia South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I think I am relatively younger in this chamber as compared to the Chief Whip. This is my 5th year in this House. Mr. Speaker, in fact, it is the first time that you see an item advertised in the order paper for close to a month and it will not be taken. Right Honorable Speaker, you may check the business statement that was read here last week, almost all questions that were advertised and were supposed to have been taken by the ministers have been repeated. Where are their ministers? Where are their ministers? Have they abandoned government business? Is it that they are not told that these questions have been advertised, and for that matter, they are supposed to be in this chamber to answer to the questions that have been asked by members of parliament? In fact, it is one of the few tools that are available to the minority for us to be able to play that oversight responsibility that has been enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are appealing to them. Their ministers should be available in this chamber to answer to these questions that have been advertised. Last week, 27 questions were advertised. This week, almost all those questions have been re-advertised, and they have added on to about 42. As to whether we are really going to exhaust these questions is something that I do not trust. And so we are pleading with the Chief Whip to make sure that the ministers appear before this House to answer to those questions. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, there was a matter that was raised here last week during a business statement, and it was in respect to an update that was given to the state, or if you like, to the Republic, by the Ghana Health Service, that there are about 880 cases that have been reported and confirmed as at November 20th with respect to mpox. We argue that it is a matter of public interest, and for that matter, the Minister of Health should be programmed to appear before this House and comment on it so that we will know how the Ministry of Health intends to deal with the matter. In fact, members of Parliament also agreed that it is a matter of public interest, and for that matter, when the Minister of Health finally appears before this House, we will find a way to help the ministry to be able to deal with this problem. As we speak, if you check the business statement that has been advertised, nothing of a sort has been stated in there. Clearly, the government is not even interested in the diseases that are affecting Ghanaians in this country. Right Honorable Speaker, I may also want to add my voice to what the Honorable Kojo Oponkroma said. And maybe I may want to start with a few statistics for us to know the enormity of the challenge that we have. Right Honorable Speaker, since 2021 till date, when our kids write WASI, we have always been seeing an increment with respect to their performance. It is only in 2025 that all the core subjects, that is English, mathematics, integrated science, and social studies, we've had a dip in terms of their performance. In fact, in 2024, the performance rate for the English language was 69.52%.
Honorable Vincent, I think the issue has been raised. So we don't need to go into details. The issue is already there before you address it.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with you, but let me end. It is important for the Ghanaian people to know, and the Minister of Education to also know, that you cannot have 69.2% of persons passing integrated science, or if you like English language, in 2024, only to have about 48% of them passing. It is an important matter, and it will be proper that the Minister of Education is scheduled to come before this House to be able to do that. So you don't even have the patience to listen to us. Have patience to listen.
Honorable Asafua, that application has already been made by Kojo Oponkroma.
But I am also adding the statistics to it for us to know the enormity of what is happening. So we are just giving more information. Mr. Speaker, sometimes allow us to be able to also communicate what the Ghanaian people want to hear. So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to add my voice. And I want to commend the Business Committee for a good job done. Except to say that, Mr. Speaker, there's some concern among Ghanaian public about many instances where people are being arrested for expressing their views, exercising their right to free speech. Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, given our role, I am of the view that we may have to program the Attorney General to come to this House, not as Attorney General, but Minister of Justice. Mr. Speaker, we need to distinguish the two and know when he is coming here as Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Mr. Speaker, come to this House as Minister of Justice to brief us on how he is going to protect the fundamental human rights of Ghanaians, particularly free speech, so that they can speak freely without being arrested. Mr. Speaker, just yesterday we heard of Martin Pebu having been arrested for making some allegations against the special prosecutor. Mr. Speaker, there is also the case of Nanaya Oyebua Wendell. Mr. Speaker, it's becoming one too many. Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, the transition to democratic rule should be fruitful to all Ghanaians, particularly the exercise of free speech. Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians are being arrested, incarcerated, being imposed with serious bail terms, bail conditions. Mr. Speaker, this was an element or a feature of pre-1992. We know that, Mr. Speaker, we know that, Mr. Speaker, as in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, we have not forgotten that the current government was given birth by the Provisional National Defense Council, which is known for breaching fundamental human rights. But, Mr. Speaker, our democracy should bear fruit.
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Because we don't have time, I just wanted to take everything. You come, you respond, and that will end there. So, Honorable Chief Whip, just hold on a bit. Let me go here and come back to you. Why? Yes, Honorable Bena.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me commend the Business Committee for a good work done. Mr. Speaker, I rise to seek guidance. About 4 weeks ago, I had a statement that was admitted by the committee on the Ohabu Agri College. It kept appearing. I'm seeking guidance. I'm seeking guidance that in such a case, no. Mr. Speaker, I had a statement that was admitted by the Business Committee and programmed for the week, but due to the nature of business, we could not take it. I wanted to humbly plead, if it is possible, to have, because it's a very important statement on the Ohabu Agri College. It's a constituency-specific statement, and I would want to ask Chief Whip if there is any chance that can be programmed for next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don't be intimidated, and I'm happy that you were not intimidated, because the minority Chief Whip was warning you, but you were bold. You weren't intimidated. Yes.
Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity, and I want to commend the acting leader, Honorable Roxin Eche Dafia-Mokpo, so far for his stability. Speaker, as I proceed to make my inquiries, Speaker, it has to do with the zip line. During our debate on the health ministry's on the health ministry's budget, the deputy minister, Speaker, the deputy minister made a very scathing statement to the effect that we are using the zip line drone to lift condoms and mosquito nets and paracetamol to the respective people or the recipients who may need these services. Speaker, I want to find out from the acting majority leader if he is aware that on the 1st of December, during the celebration of the World AIDS Day, it was announced that 42 people get infected by HIV daily in Ghana. 42 people. Speaker, 42. As I speak with you, Speaker, recent statistics show that approximately 330,000 to 355,000 people are living with HIV. Is the Deputy Health Minister saying that we should stop using condoms or stop making provisions of condoms to people who need them? Speaker, the NDC youth organizer in the Western North. Speaker.
Honorable Leader. Honorable Leader, I don't know if you want the
Speaker,
leader.
I was going to run up that the Minister of Health respectfully should be programmed to come respectfully to respond to the surge in HIV cases and what the ministry is doing about it. And what is also happening to the zip line, because we are aware that it saved an NDC organizer in the Western North. Thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Comfort, do you?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Farmers' Day. And Saturday, Akwetia funeral. Honorable Dratu has a funeral. We have a lot and a chock of work. So I'm begging the Chief Whip, who is working on behalf of the leader, to defer some of the questions for next week. When the leader comes, he will come and answer all. Then make sure we leave here early. We do our government business and leave here early. So the plenty talk, Mr. Speaker, we should cut some of them short so that we can do big government business and go home. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, let me thank members for the comments and the concerns raised in respect of the business statement presented as by way of matters arising. Now, the honorable member for Fuansia Yuribi made the point that there is the need for government to, as it were, present the policy programs, program documents regarding all the policies launched, all government's flagship programs launched thus far. And by his reckoning, there are about 17 of them. It's well noted. We'll take it up with the Minister of Finance and the other sector ministers. I know that some are coming by way of bills. For instance, the 24-hour economy policy has come by way of bills. Legislation will be passed to ensure that there's a proper legal framework and others. So it's well noted. We'll endeavor to do that. In fact, that's how it's supposed to be. Then, the issue about the WASI results. Fortuitously, I can report to the House that the President himself has directed, the President himself has directed the Minister of Education to, as it were, study the Chief Examiner's report on the WASI, on the 2025 WASI results with the Chief Director, the Director General of GES. And I believe that the Minister will be well informed to come and brief the House regarding the matters contained in the Chief Examiner's report. So we'll try and program him for next week to do this. Then, Mr. Speaker, Professor Kingsley Nyako raised the issue of the situation of air conditioners and some of offices numbering about 54, according to my record. the complaints that are officially before myself and my brother, the minority chief, who is our 54 offices that are not having functioning air conditioning, so members find it difficult. It's also a matter of record that Parliament is going through the procurement processes to get the air conditioners rehabilitated and not replaced. Also is the lift. The procurement processes are unfortunately painfully tedious, So, because if you don't go through, you'll be in breach, and nobody wants to be in breach. So things have been approached with some alacrity, but I believe that by the time we are back, they will be installed. Then he noted that he has a question. The question has been repeated. So it's also noted for deletion. Then again, he asked a question. His concern was about the fact that he's filed some questions regarding the number of shrines that exist in the country, the number of mosques that also exist in the country. But he's surprised that another question regarding the number of churches has rather been slated. What I can say about that is that it means the minister has obtained the adequate information necessary for him to come and respond to the question. But the information available for, I believe, the mosque and the shrines is delaying. That is why we cannot advertise a question for him to come and respond to when he hasn't got the material to come and respond. So that would be the plausible reasons for advertising, for advertising that next week the minister will come and respond to that of churches, but that of for shrine is not ready. But we'll look into this and explain why that for the shrine is not listed for next week. I believe when he's ready, he will notify us, and then it can be advertised for him to come and respond to. Then the issue of traffic. Professor Nyako, how can issue of traffic congestion be a matter for business statement? Hey, Professor Nyako. Please. Parliament cannot control traffic. So what we can do is that it is that particular time of the year when there's a general congestion because of the upcoming Yuletide. So we want to encourage members to leave home early. Members should endeavor to leave home early, so they can beat the early morning traffic, heavy traffic congestion, which starts from about 7:30, 8 a.m. If you leave home early, by 6:37, you are in Parliament. From wherever you are located in the metropolis, even if you are in Tema, if you leave home by 6:30, by 7:15, you are here. But if you sit at home till about 9, 10, then you leave home, you won't get here by 12, because all the traders will be pouring in. But be it as it may, we want to. It's a noted concern. So we want to urge the Director General of the MTTD to deploy more men onto the roads to ensure an easy flow of traffic. So for the general ease of movement within the city towards Christmas and immediately after Christmas and New Year. So it's noted. But I want to, on behalf of my majority leader, encourage members to leave home early. We are in the budget hearing season, so get here early so we can do business early. Then, Franca Freer raised the issue of advertised time for going on recess, when whether or not that timetable is still in operation. Yes, it is. But the general concern of members is that this time we have the opportunity to be able to do things much quicker than it is advertised. And if that happens, then it means we can go on recess before the 19th. Today, if we are lucky, we can take about 5 or 6 or 7 more reports. And combined with what we did yesterday, it means we are doing close to 20 or 16 or 17 out of 41. If next week we are able to we can finish the reports by next week, depending on the circumstances. And if we are able to finish the reports by the 12th, it means when we enter the 3rd week of the month, we'll be able to pass appropriation and go on recess even before the 19th. So it depends on the enormity of work and the alacrity with which we are handling the reports and its approval. Then, my brother Vincent Asifua, again rehashed. You see, he's not on the floor to listen to. Okay, so pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. So, stop the conspiracy and pay attention. So, the issue of the WASI. So, I believe the minister, upon perusal of the chief examiner's report, will be informed well enough to come and brief the House. And then we'll see how we can now formulate programs and policies to ensure that we don't experience, this hasn't happened for some time, and we are all concerned. So once he briefs us, I'm sure we'll look at what to do and the directions to give. Then, your call that the health minister comes to brief the House is also noted. So we can endeavor to program him to come and respond to your concerns, if the business of the House permits. Then, the call that the AG should come here, not as AG, but constitutionally speaking, the AG cannot be decoupled from the Minister of Justice. He is in a composite capacity, so whenever he's here, he comes as the AG as well as the Minister of Justice. And yes, I agree that we need to program him to come to respond to some of the issues you have raised. And myself, I'll be raising that matter shortly. Adam Agbana, your concern is noted. Statements that have been advertised for members to the sponsors of those statements to take them on the floor. Given the exigencies, they are being rolled over to next week. Yesterday, I was actually looking out for you because we had a window to take a couple. But because we couldn't see some of you, we will roll them over to next week. And given the exigencies, we can take, when we get the window, like we did today and yesterday, we'll take them alongside government business. Then, my brother Jerry Shaib, Zipline, your concerns are noted. The minister will then be programmed. So the Minister for Health is then being demanded to appear to address the issue of the Zipline as well as the other matter that Vincent Asifua raised. So, Mr. Speaker, these are the compendium of issues.
Thank you. Thank you, honourable members.
Compendium of issues that the members.
Honourable members, Leader, I said it. I had wanted everybody to just.
Speaker, let me start off by, I also recognize you don't have time. I think I don't agree with the Chief Whip. By the way, he's done excellently well so far. At least, he's not attempting to trivialize the issues we are raising. He's not trivializing them. And I commend him highly. Yes. So, but the matter on air conditioning is unfortunate it's coming up on the floor. ideally what should be done is that administrators should ferry progress reports to the chief whips so that the whips can update members on the various platforms. It's not a matter that we should be discussing at plenary. So that should be taken in good stride. On traffic congestion, Leader, I disagree with you. Because you see, you are saying that we should reset, and the reset must cast across all spheres of life. Yes, reset. No, in other jurisdictions, authorities are getting innovative. In the context of your reset agenda, you must get innovative. And you should get the minister here, Minister for Roads and Highways. He should get his agencies to come and tell us, because it is predictable that getting to the Christmas festivities, there will be traffic. So it's predictable. We can't sit. We must get innovative. Yes. Speaker, we are clearly getting closer to adjournment. We have a lot of issues. Your backyard, your morale is weak. The morale of your back is weak. I don't have to mention names. It's weak. So, leader, do something. There are real issues that the Speaker has cancelled. Speaker, there is a lot of noise coming from the majorities. I don't know if they are not interested in the morale issues I'm going to raise. The Honorable Deputy Minister, listen, we are talking about real issues. It's important. These issues, you cannot talk about them. It is the minority who relate. We are speaking for you too. You are making noise. Yes, now you are talking. So, Speaker, we are getting closer to adjournment, or even rising. There are real issues I don't want to elucidate unnecessarily. Leader, I nudged you at the Business Committee. We need, as a matter of agency, committee of the whole. The Exchequer must come here. That's why he's one of us. That's why he's one of us. There are a lot of things, I don't want to talk about them, that are outstanding, bordering on members and colleagues. Some are statutory. He must be here. So I propose to you, you must do all the legwork. And today I see you are standing instead of the majority leader. I will not be surprised.
Honorable Whip, I could see some of the backbenchers giving indications.
But they are excited.
Yes, they are excited.
We are excited. The news is exciting. You are in power. So, Speaker, Wednesday, we should have a committee of the whole. And the Minister of Finance should be giving foreknowledge, not just the news of committee of the whole, the items which I cannot elucidate on. So, Speaker, I'll relate to the Chief Whip so that the minister will come prepared. That's the first one. Same on the minister. No. Okay. Then, Speaker, again, the Minister of Finance, there's a matter which of huge public interest. The Minister of Finance is owing the administrator of stool lands 9 months arrears. And this is money for our chiefs. Our traditional leaders are being owed 9 months of payment, royalties. The minister should find it. When he's coming for the committee of the whole, he must prepare to speak to this matter. Speaker, if I may reference Order 6, and then, Speaker, with your leave, independent constitutional bodies. Independence under interpretation. Independent constitutional bodies include the Electoral Commission, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, National Commission for Civic Education, National Media Commission, Office of the Administrator of District Assemblies, Common Fund, Office of Auditor General, Bank of Ghana, and other bodies established to have exclusive jurisdiction in the performance of assigned functions. The PRC clearly falls under this description. The PRC. Speaker, a while ago, cumulatively, they have increased utility, specifically electricity, to some 18.34%. Just recently, there has been an additional 9.8%. It is generating a lot of discussion, and its impact on production productivity, I must say, productivity generally in this country could be called to question. I'm simply saying, Committee of the Whole, the PRC must find their way here. They must come and meet the people's representative and explain why this increment. Of course, we are all aware about the dollar effect on this utility pricing. And now you claim that you have stabilized the dollar. You claim. Where is the matter? That's fine. I'm not contesting that. You have stabilized the. If you have stabilized the dollar, it must reflect in the pricing of utility. So, I'm saying, if the finance minister is being scheduled for Wednesday, the PRC must find his way here on Thursday. Rain or shine, they must come to Parliament. Come and explain and put matters in context. Leader, we have all been passionate about our pension scheme. We seem to be running away from it. Today, the Noble Collins data related to it. Why are we afraid of something that is beneficial to us? The report committee that was put together by this House, the committee has traveled across the globe. Report has been generated. The report was programmed by the order paper. Suddenly, the business program on the order paper vanished. What is happening? This is our welfare. It's our welfare, leader. I beg you. Let's get these reports presented, and then we can set them into motion. The other business we have to prosecute. Last one. So we got last one, the very last one. So we got solid and liquid waste management service providers in this country. Close to 1 year have not been paid by this government. No, Mills, it's true. Now, the entire liquid waste generated by Parliament, if we are not careful, there will be a blast. And if that happens, the effect will be enormous. The finance minister, apart from coming to Committee of the Whole, leadership should meet with him. Speaker, I employ your directive. Leadership should meet with him. These two matters must be raised. The royalties to our chiefs, the payment to waste management service providers, it must be done. 1 year, they've not done it. There could be a possible epidemic breakout in our country. So, and again, Speaker, let me commend Chief Webb. At least he's not trivializing the things we are relating to. And I pray that he will always present the business statement. Speaker, having said this, I thank you for the opportunity. And he must also do his work in the printing room to get the report. If passage of appropriation is delaying, you can trace your hand to the minority. We are set out to help you pass your appropriation. But if your reports are not being generated, there's nothing we can do. At least so far, we have been very magnanimous to them. Speaker, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Speaker, I knew he would do this. Speaker, the issue of the air conditioners, we want to assure members that the House is taking or has taken this matter seriously, and therefore the tender committee has done its work. The procurement processes are underway. It's come up many times. So we want to urge, if the clerk were here, the deputy clerk is here, so he deputizes for his boss. They should expedite action on that so that members can function from their offices. That's all they are saying. Mr. Speaker, the issue of the traffic, I don't know why the minority chief whip wants to bring Parliament into the management of traffic. I don't get it. What we are asking members, we are imploring members technically, is to leave home earlier than they do. that is the surest solution to the matter. But it is noted that we are calling on the Director General of the MTTD to deploy more men to direct traffic, to ease traffic, and more roads are being tarred. More access roads are being generated so that we are resetting the traffic network in the metropolis and elsewhere. So I'm sure by January you get to Parliament faster than you do. Mr. Speaker, the issue about the coming of the finance minister to meet members at the committee of the whole, that is laudable. It's acceptable to us. We'll program him. But even though he indicated that the agenda, he won't reveal it, he went ahead to reveal a couple. So the issues that he listed, he and I, as the whips, will sit down, agree on the items that he will come and brief the House on. We'll discuss with leaders. Then when he comes, he can address all of them as en bloc. Speaker, it will be more prudent, given the times, to schedule the PURC on the day that the FM will be here, just to manage time. Because if the FM comes on a day, and then we have to program again another committee of the whole on a different day to get PURC, it may burn our time. So I want to plead that we program, the day we are programming FM, we get PURC to also appear, so that they can deal with the issues that you are. Please. Then the issue of the pension scheme report has been advertised. The report has been ready. It's been advertised for some time. I don't think there's any deliberate attempt to gloss over it. It's just because of the exigencies. So I believe tomorrow, if Tuesday, if we have good numbers, it can be taken, debated, and adopted. Then the processes can be initiated. Speaker, solid waste again. We will meet about it and we'll discuss this matter with the FM when it comes. Yes. So I'm saying that as part of the briefings that the FM will come and give to the committee of the whole, this will feature. Here now we agree on the items for the agenda. And the royalties, the war feature. I know why you heckling me. You've raised the matter. I'm responding to them. You are still heckling me. Mr. Speaker, save me from the Honorable Frank Anodom. So, Speaker.
You are saved.
Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, with these matters having been raised by members and responded to and noted, I believe that we are good to adopt a business statement for next week so we can move to other matters. I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The business statements, as thoroughly discussed, is hereby adopted.
Speaker, let me seek your leave to raise a matter of urgent public importance. Speaker, yesterday, whilst we were on the floor trying to conclude business, news filtered through that one of our seasoned lawyers, the lawyer Martin Pebu, was invited by Office of the Special Prosecutor. He presented himself willingly, and somehow he got detained. Until about after 10 p.m., he was still in detention, and he was supposed to have been granted bail, given onerous bail terms. He should produce property, landed property, and all that. Mr. Speaker, we cannot do this at this time. We can't.
So, honorable leader.
Mr. Speaker, these are serious matters.
Honorable leader.
Mr. Speaker, permit me.
Fine, but under what year are you coming?
Mr. Speaker, a matter of urgent public importance.
So come properly. I mean,
Mr.
let
Speaker,
me know.
I have invoked the orders.
Which orders?
Mr. Speaker,
Which
I have
orders?
invoked the orders.
Which orders?
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I have invoked the orders. Order 93. So no, I have invoked the orders, Mr. Speaker, and I was in full flight.
Anyway,
Speaker,
now you've mentioned 93, you can go on.
Speaker, we are saying that the office of the special prosecutor has abused his powers in this matter. And I will not hesitate. I will not hesitate to say that this house, we created the office. And the office of the special, if they have to abrogate it. We may have to abrogate it. Because we cannot create such an office to handle important matters of concern to the state, and you'll be detaining citizens that you have invited willingly, they've submitted themselves willingly, and you detain them because on a certain supposed obstruction of a public officer from performing a certain duty. That is a misdemeanor.
Honorable Chief Whip.
So, Mr. Speaker, let me place this matter on record that this house, we shall be inviting him to come and brief the house the circumstances under which he will detain a citizen under such flimsy, whimsical circumstances. It is untenable. And yesterday, his conduct was frowned upon by the entire nation. By the entire nation. So I just have to place this matter on record for today. I thank you for the opportunity.
Honorable Majority Chief Whip, you came under Order 93, but it was wrong time. We normally invoke Order 93 during statement time. Now you've gone past statement time, we are coming to do government business, and we are bringing this discussion again. Anyway, I'll invite one person from this side, Honorable Kojo Ponkroma, to comment on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I would have wished that the Business Committee would have properly programmed this so that it would have been part of the earlier conversations. The subject that the Chief Whip on the majority side has raised is an important matter. But in my view, Mr. Speaker, it is not about the Office of the Special Prosecutor. It is about a culture that has crept into the investigative and law enforcement bodies in this country, where they invite you, and to quote the words of the Chief Whip, you appear on your own volition to assist them in investigations. Then they arrest and detain and put onerous bail conditions on you. In fact, in the case of his good friend, the respected lawyer he's speaking about, his very good friend, he was asked to bring landed property in his own name. These are some of the onerous bail conditions that we have been speaking about, that the investigative bodies are beginning to weaponize. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, like we say in Twi, etua unyonku mua, etua diem, etua uhumudia, etua nipem. To wait, Mr. Speaker, when it happens to somebody and he's complaining about it, you see absolutely nothing wrong with it. When it happens to you, now you complain. So, Mr. Speaker, if he wants to invite the special prosecutor to come and answer why his friend, and today he's complaining because it is his friend, why his friend and the office of the special prosecutor, in his view, are weaponizing their powers, perhaps he should extend that invitation to all the other investigative bodies that people have raised complaints about, that they are beginning to weaponize the powers of state given them. Today, because it happened to Martin Pebu, you are making it a matter of urgent public interest. The minority leader, Osahin, has been raising this matter over and over again, that the investigative bodies are weaponizing their powers, are imposing onerous bail conditions. In fact, Mr. Speaker, in instances where you don't even expect them to detain, because you've invited a man, he has appeared, he's provided information, you know where to find him. There's no basis to detain him. They will detain you and put onerous bills, whisk you away unknown destination. Then your lawyers, everybody looking for you. We've had clients at our firm we are chasing all over town. When you say it, because it has not happened to them, they don't complain. That's why our elders say, today, because it has happened on their side, they are complaining. So, Mr. Speaker, if we will take a leaf from the book of history, when the Preventive Detention Act was being passed, members of the CPP who were happily shouting that it was a good idea, in the end, became victims of it. If there's a practice that is untoward and it is being raised, let us look at it without partisan lenses. We on this side, if indeed they extend that invitation, I'm not sure we will object. We won't object to it. But perhaps our advice will be that all the other investigative bodies that are being weaponized, which have been complained about, which they turn a blind eye and a blind ear to, maybe, Chief Whip, you should add it so that we can do a non-partisan, diligent job in the interest of the public. Because precedents are being set, which will not be good for our democracy going forward. Mr. Speaker, those will be my words in contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not taking any comment again. We brought statement to a close, and I am unable to take any further comment on that. Leadership, any indication?
Speaker, let me pray that we take the motions. Speaker, we take the motions, so that will be item number 10 on the order paper. 10. Oh, no. Mr. Speaker, that will be, we'll take the motion. So we have yesterday the Independent Constitutional Bodies Committee. They had 3 of their reports ready. And so, Speaker, we want to take those 3 reports quickly because the member has been waiting patiently to present them.
So, which page? Which page?
Speaker, page, that will be page 12. 12, 13, 14. So page 12, page 14, motion number. Speaker, let's take motion number 29. That's the Media Commission. You have it. You have the Media Commission. Which one do you have? Which one do you have? Which one do you have? Yes. Yes, you can take them. Okay. Speaker, so we'll take motion number, that is 26, 27, 28, 29. Yes, we'll take those in that order, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, the chairman of the committee, the majority leader, is unavoidably 24. 41. Okay. My luckily leader is here. Chairman of the committee is here, so we are taking your...
Very well. So, honorable members, today appears to be the last day of the week. We've already spent almost more than 3 hours. So, with regards to the motion, if the ministers are here to if ministers are here, or if the institution is supposed to be led by the majority leader, the chairman or chairperson and the ranking. The chairperson will obviously be seconding and presenting the committee's report. The chairperson will not use more than 8 minutes. The ranking will not use more than 8 minutes. all the other members who will be commenting on any report will not use more than 5 minutes. I hope I'm making myself clear. No member will be allowed to speak more than 5 minutes by way of comment. The chairperson who will be presenting the committee's report will not be using more than 8 minutes. The ranking will not be using more than 8 minutes. Any other member will not be using more than 5 minutes. We want to regulate the time in such a way that we'll be able to do as many as we can. So on that note, let me invite the majority leader to...
Speaker, let me make this small correction. Motion number 26 ought to stand in the name of the chairman for the Committee on Economy. Inadvertently, we advertise it sitting in the name of the majority leader. So if we can make that correction.
Very well. So who is the chairman of the economy? Honorable Afo is not here, but the ranking is here.
Yes, because this often happens, so it's not a problem. We can, when we get to that item, we can make that up. The one who moved the motion can seek your leave and make that amendment. But actually, I don't know, are you starting from 24? Which item are you taking now? Or 26? Which one are you starting from? 14.
Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this Honorable House approves the sum of 907,924,349 Ghana cedis for the services of the audit service for the year ending 31st December 2026. I so move.
Honourable members, the motion listed 27, page 15, has been moved by the majority leader. Chairman of the committee. You are the vice chairman. But are you a member of the committee? Okay. Honorable Frank, let's allow him. Yes, so we can go on. But you have the report to present? Okay, let's. You can do so. Frank, I've allowed him. No.
Speaker, the chairman of the committee also doubles as the leader of the House. And so he's directed that he, being a member of the committee, yes. So as a member, is permitted under our rules to be able to present the report of the committee. Speaker, that's our prayer.
Well, I've already granted the leave, so...
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion number 27 on page 15 of the order paper. And in doing so, I present your committee on independent constitutional bodies report, which requests this House to approve the sum of 907,924,349 cedis for the 2026 fiscal year for the audit service. Mr. Speaker, I would want the table office to capture the entire report as though it was read in its entirety. But having said that, may I call your attention to the very important function of the audit service, which function seeks to enhance transparency in our governance system and also promote accountability in the use of financial resources of this country. Mr. Speaker, among the many functions the audit service undertook in the year 2025, I reckon that we ought to applaud the audit service that in spite of the fact that they did not get the full allocation and release of their 2025 budget, they made very good use of what was given them and executed over 1,000 audit activities of our MDAs for this current year 2025. Again, they were able to audit all 261 metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies of our country. Of interest was also their quest to audit even our traditional authorities, and about 100 traditional councils were audited in the year. Mr. Speaker, for the current year, we acknowledge that their goods and services will be key for their execution of the many activities planned for the ensuing year. And I want to encourage the ministry to release enough funds for them to undertake their activities. But Mr. Speaker, let me take the House to the conclusion of your report. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee, having diligently and thoroughly examined the annual budget estimates of the audit service for the 2026 financial year, is satisfied that the proposed allocations are appropriate, justified, and necessary for supporting the full implementation of the services programs and for sustaining its operational effectiveness. Mr. Speaker, the committee underscores that timely and adequate financing of the audit service remains indispensable to strengthening public sector compliance, enhancing accountability mechanisms, and ensuring value for money in the utilization of public resources. I therefore call on this House to accordingly, the committee recommends to the House the adoption of this report and the approval of the sum of 907,924,349 Ghana cedis to enable the Ghana Audit Service to effectively execute its planned activities and deliver on its constitutional and statutory responsibilities during the 2026 financial year. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yes. Honorable Kojo Ponkroma. Who? So he has seconded the motion, so it is now before the House for consideration. If there's nobody, then I'll put the question. All those in favor that motion listed 27 in today's order paper be adopted, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion listed 27 in today's order paper is hereby carried. And that this honorable House has approved the sum of 907,924,349 Ghana cedis for the services of the audit service for the year ending 31st December 2026.
Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
With your indulgence, if we can take motion number 28.
20.
28. That
20.
is the estimates for the Electoral Commission.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this Honorable House approves the sum of 203,569,245 Ghana cedis for the services of the Electoral Commission for the year ending 31st December 2026. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Chairman.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to second motion number 28, and in so doing, I present your Committee on Independent Constitutional Bodies report. May I invite the Hansard Office to capture the entire report as though it was read in its entirety. And in doing so, may I highlight a few of the issues that came up. We all know that in this country, the Electoral Commission plays a pivotal role in sustaining our democratic pathway, and so far, we would say they have done so well. For the 2025 allocations, Mr. Speaker, it's been clear that your committee, led by the Honorable Majority Leader, has supported the calls for the Commission to get the needed resources to operate and to function effectively. And in 2025, we noted that an allocation made in 2024, which was not released, impacted their performance negatively. But to the extent that your committee has supported their work, they got some releases with an outstanding amount of about 20.3 million Ghana cedis, of which currently they have received about 6 million. Mr. Speaker, we would want the Ministry of Finance to really look into the allocations of constitutional bodies. We want to ensure that for institutions that are a creation of the Constitution, their allocations must be of concern to all of us, so that the reason for which the Constitution established them will not be lost on us, Mr. Speaker. And so, for the outstanding amount of about 14 million against 2024, we are told that they've been embarrassed by Toyota Ghana for vehicles that they procured in 2024. For their rounds during the elections, we have not been able to pay for those vehicles for which Toyota Ghana has been on them. So we call on the Ministry of Finance to deal with this matter expeditiously. Mr. Speaker, for this year, the outlook for the Electoral Commission emphasizes their mandate, and we believe that if this House approves the requested amount, it will help them to execute their mandate. I call attention to their claim that there are few accounts that holds their money, and we are told that for parliamentary and presidential elections, the fees that we pay are escrowed into an account, and it is said that for parliamentary candidates who are able to secure about 12.5% of the votes, they qualify for refund of their fees. And for presidential...
Oh, okay. Mr. Speaker, so we take you. Okay.
And so, Mr. Speaker, we want to encourage the ministry to make available those funds for the EC to be able to utilize under their internally generated funds. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee has carefully reviewed the Electoral Commission's 2026 budget estimates and is confident that the proposed policies and programs will effectively support the Commission in fulfilling its mandate. The committee recommends that the House adopts this report and approve the total allocation of 203 million 569,245 Ghana cedis to enable the Commission implement its planned programs and activities for 2026 fiscal year. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very, very much. Honourable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. It is now before the House for consideration. But before I will invite anybody for comment, the Right Honourable Speaker will assume the chair.
Oh, I like the house. Thank you.
Oh, I wanted to show you. Where is it? Here. This electoral commission.
Yes, honorable members, I've just been briefed that you are on item 28, that the motion has been moved and has been seconded for the consideration of the House. Yes, Majority Leader.
That is so, and I was on my feet when the Deputy Speaker announced that you were assuming the chair. The Speaker, I was on my feet to commend and support the motion moved by myself and seconded by member for Tema East. Mr. Speaker, essentially he had given all the figures, but I just want to make one comment. He made a comment, but I just want to reinforce it. Mr. Speaker, if you watch over the years, we did not make provision for a special committee of Parliament to oversee the affairs of independent constitutional bodies. The Constitution has indicated that it intends that the independent constitutional bodies should be insulated from all manner
of control. And, Mr. Speaker, in relation to the Electoral Commission, let me, for instance, read Article 46. It says, except as provided in this Constitution or in any other law not inconsistent with this Constitution, in the performance of its functions, the Electoral Commission shall not be subject to the direction or control of any person or authority. Mr. Speaker, we know that financial instruments, budgetary allocation, can be a very subtle medium of control. And this provision is similarly provided in relation to all the independent constitutional bodies, i.e. the National Media Commission, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. And so, if we don't devise a mechanism for dealing with budgeting for these independent constitutional bodies, we may say that the Constitution insulates them from control, but the executive arm of government will use financial provisioning as a tool for control. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is my proposal as chairperson of that committee that this House must develop a mechanism for determining budgetary allocation to these institutions. So instead of the leadership of these institutions engaging directly with the Ministry of Finance, where they are given ceilings by the Ministry of Finance and given their weaker political weight, they have difficulty pushing to get what they actually need to perform their constitutional roles. It is my view that going forward, this Parliament should be the institution that interfaces between these independent constitutional bodies and the Ministry of Finance in the determination of what should go to these independent constitutional bodies. At the time of designing our Constitution, the institutions that the framers expressly thought to insulate by way of protecting the processes of budgeting for them have been the Parliament itself and the judiciary, where there is a mechanism that sorts of protect the judiciary, for instance, in terms of determining their budget. But for the other independent constitutional bodies, even though the same mechanism of non-control which the Constitution provides in relation to the judiciary is also provided for in relation to these independent constitutional bodies, the Constitution did not go further to provide a mechanism for budgeting for them that actualizes the desire of the framers to have these bodies to be really independent and not subject to any form of control. And so, Mr. Speaker, whilst I support the motion and urge that we approve it, going forward, for all the independent constitutional bodies, we may want to make provisions in our standing orders that require that they bring their proposals to Parliament. We consider their proposals. And if we deem it fit that these independent constitutional bodies should be given those sums that they require to do their work, or why not, we should then make that presentation to the Minister of Finance for consideration and for them to capture it in the budget estimates that will be brought to Parliament. As it is now, they are invited to the Ministry of Finance, they are given a ceiling, and they can't negotiate their way out. And every year they come, they complain about inadequate provisioning. Even what has been approved, a lot of it is not released to them. And so increasingly, we find these pillars of democracy not functioning to the extent that we want them to function, and undermining our democracy. It's the same with Raj, it's the same with Audit Service, it's the same with National Media Commission, and now we see new media, and we see the abuse of new media, and the National Media Commission is weak and therefore cannot protect the citizenry against the abuses that we see in the new media. It is all because of the weak budgetary allocation that they have suffered over the years. And so this House must find a mechanism to protect these independent constitutional body in the process of budgeting for them, and to ensure that we negotiate and get proper budgetary allocations for the independent constitutional body. I thought to draw attention to this. I think it's a constitutional, weakness, and in future, the Constitutional Review Commission should take it on board. But even as we are waiting for the outcome of the work of the Constitutional Review Commission, I think that as a parliament, we can provide for it in the standing orders of parliament, because the Constitution says that the mechanism by which the appropriation bill should be approved should be determined by us. And so we can put in our standing orders provisions that make special arrangement for the consideration of the budget of independent constitutional bodies, to actualize the desire of the Constitution that these bodies should indeed be insulated from all manner of executive control. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I thank the seconder of the motion and urge colleagues to approve the sum of 203,569,245 Ghana cedis for the services of the Electoral Commission for the year ending 31st December 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You've agreed. Yes, Honorable Samuel Abu Jinapo.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion requesting for the amount as stated for the Electoral Commission. Mr. Speaker, and also to associate myself with the sentiments expressed by the majority leader, and to say, Mr. Speaker, that budgeting and allocation of public funds, historically and contemporary, has been a major tool, Mr. Speaker, for a major tool of control. And Mr. Speaker, if I may stretch it even further, this House, Parliament itself, I should say, not only the independent constitutional bodies of our state or of our country are susceptible to the use of budgeting, Mr. Speaker, as a tool of control. Even Parliament and the budgeting process we have in our country, which means that literally all institutions and organs of state are subject to more or less the discretion of the Ministry of Finance and for that matter, the executive and government, Mr. Speaker, continues to be a major avenue and a major lever of control of institutions who are required to be independent and assertive. Mr. Speaker, in the Congress of the United States, the experts will say that their source of strength is because of their much more control of the budgeting process and their capacity and mandate pursuant, Mr. Speaker, to the Budget Act of 1921, which gives them the mandate to literally determine the contours of budgeting and are able to increase or reduce whatever allocation the Treasury presents to the Congress. So it's important, and I think that we've also had a history in our country, I think sometime in 2004, when issues of even procurement by the Electoral Commission became a subject matter of intense public discussion vis-a-vis whether or not the executive's attempt to interfere in the procurement processes of the Electoral Commission will constitute a compromise of the independence of the Electoral Commission as enshrined in the Constitution of our country. And so, Mr. Speaker, it's as well that this amount is being allocated to the Electoral Commission, and I see that that is an increment of the allocation given to the Electoral Commission for the, compared to the 2025 allocation. The allocation for 2026 is over and above that of 2025. But that said, the point the majority there is made is one that I believe the House should pay particular attention to, but not only in respect of independent constitutional bodies, but the general budgeting framework of our country, even as it relates to a very important arm of government such as the legislature, parliament, and ensure that we have a system which makes these bodies which are to be independent, truly independent, as it relates to the Electoral Commission. Mr. Speaker, with this, I support the motion for the request of the said amount for the Electoral Commission of Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
May I be guided by leadership as to the agreement on contributions by members? Is it 1122? No agreement. Okay, so I'll handle them. Yes, Prof.
Yes, Speaker. I thank you for the further space given me in contributing to motion number 28. Mr. Speaker, I partly share the frustration of the leader of the House regarding the allocations given to the independent congressional bodies. I used to be on the Special Budget Committee, and I know the challenges. Mr. Speaker, I think that we need to tread cautiously, because if the challenge in terms of the inadequacy of the budgetary allocations to independent congressional bodies is distinct from what is given to the ministries, departments, and agencies, then I'll be worried. What I've seen over the years is that the budgetary allocations are not even fully provided by the Finance Ministry. So what we should be doing is to ensure that the Finance Ministry, seeing the critical and crucial and relevant roles these institutions play, must ensure that they are giving adequacy of resources for them to embark upon their work more effectively and efficiently. On that score, I also saw on the report, item number E, outstanding commitment, that EC was owing Toyota Ghana a sum of over 10 million cedis. And due to that, 2 of their vehicles were repossessed by the company. And I see this to be a worrying signal. And I want to urge the Finance Ministry that some of these commitments that are obligatory must be honored. Otherwise, it puts some form of a dent on the reputation of this country. So I will want to agree with Honorable Member from Tema East that, as a matter of urgency, these monies must be provided so that the vehicles can be gotten back for the EC to beef up the work that they do. On that score, Mr. Speaker, I also want to support the motion that the sum of 203,569,245 Ghana cedis be appropriated for the Electoral Commission. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for indulging me.
Honorable members, I think this is an important issue that has been raised. I listened to the debate earlier in the day, and this issue came up many times, and I think that is important because we are doing a constitutional review for us to emphasize the point that has been made by the majority leader. It's because of that, if you go through our standing orders, we have provided for a budget committee. And when you go to Order 235, you see clause 1 says the budget committee comprises a chairperson, a ranking member, a vice chairperson, a deputy ranking member, and not more than 13 other members. And 2 says the budget committee shall collaborate with the ministry responsible for finance and the office of the president in the initiation, formulation, and implementation of the national budget. And 3 says, the budget committee shall A, consider and report to the House on Roman 1, the medium-term expenditure framework and the broad medium-term policy target. Roman 2, an appropriation bill laid before Parliament. Roman 3, a report laid in respect of budget reporting or expenditure in advance of appropriation. And B, consider the annual budget and determine whether the annual budget gives effect to Chapter 6 of the Constitution. I know what Chapter 6 deals with, the directive principles of state policy. Then C, analyze and report to the House the impact of tax waivers on the economy. And D, perform any other function assigned by Parliament. Finance, public financial management, economics, or any other related discipline to support memoranda, to submit memoranda, or provide any other assistance that the committee may require in the performance of the assigned functions. And so you have this main committee, the budget committee, when it comes to matters concerning the budget. It's true that we need to clarify some of the orders as stated by the majority leader. Even when you are looking at the standing orders on committee or independent constitutional bodies, they are a bit general in nature. They should be more specific. But this is a beginning worth carrying forward and signaling to the Constitutional Reforms Committee that this is the position. In fact, I just drew the attention of the table's office to the fact that what we're doing now is to adopt the reports of the committees. If you approve the reports now, then the appropriation bill will just capture what you have approved. So second reading will be onerous because there will be no need for you to start debating the policies and principles again of what you have approved generally in the House. And so what we're doing now is to move motions to adopt the reports of the committee. When they are now captured in the appropriation bill, it will come before the House where you now debate and approve what has been captured there as the various items to be approved for the utilization of the various MMDAs, the constitutional bodies, and Parliament and the judiciary. But between adoption of the reports, at least you should have given some idea to the executive if there is a need for reconsideration and for the elimination of some items from the budget. That could be done before they are captured in the appropriation bill for the consideration of the House. I think we should start doing it this way until we get the new constitution, which will properly capture the sense of the House. And so I told the clerks at table that the motions should have been differently worded. That what you're doing now is adopting the reports of the committees. I have serious problems with them. I have raised issues with the Minister of Finance and His Excellency the President that we will need to realign some of these amounts to the priority areas that will even allow the President to lead the reset that he mentioned. The way things are going now, I don't think that can lead us to reset because the agencies that anchor the programs, national programs, if not well resourced, you will not be able to change the existing framework, to start with the legal framework. Parliament has to do a lot to change many of the laws that we have. If not, we'll be caught by the existing law. And even though you have good intentions, legally, they will not be applicable. And until you amend the laws, you cannot implement the good ideas that you have. And so it means that Parliament has to work a lot. But what has been provided there for Parliament is woefully inadequate. The same for the audit service. The audit service, I just heard before I came in, the House adopting and approving it. You realize in the budget there's a provision to establish an audit value for money audit department. And there's a bill coming for us to do that. All that was being done by the audit service. And so if that is being done by the audit service, and you now think that there's a need to establish a specialized unit, they are all doing the same thing. That is auditing. One may be doing performance audit, one will be doing management audit, there is doing value for money audit, and you have various types. But what is provided for the audit service now is so inadequate that they will not be able to do the work we are doing, particularly as we have gone down to the district assemblies level and realize that your committees are being asked to now do audit work. And the local government and rural development committee, for example, started sitting like a public accounts committee. And so you need a lot of resources to be able to do this. We cannot continue to be budgeting the way we used to do. And so this is a very important matter that we should carry on board and make sure that we support the executive to realign the projections and the provisions they have made before this House. If not, please, let's forget about real democracy or true democracy, and we should stop deceiving ourselves. Please. There are some agencies, I think, in fact, this morning I heard you people talking about one of them, that is the OSP. And if you recall, during the deliberation on the OSP, a number of us stated on the floor of this House that there's no constitutional basis. But we wanted to signal to the world that we are going to fight corruption. At the end of the day, we have seen the results. And we cannot continue to allocate that huge sums to the same office when we are not getting the results. This is one of the agencies we should be looking at. It's getting almost the same amount like the Attorney General's department. Please, let's face the bull by the horns and make sure that the right thing is done. And so I agree with the majority leader, and as we go through this, the Minister for Finance, I hope his representative is here. His deputy used to be around. Yes, the deputy, oh, after the deputy, I always see him. Is a minister who comes in from time to time, but the deputy is always around. I think majority leader will take note of it and apprise them of the discussions. And I'm happy that the House agreed that there will be some other committee of the whole or closed sitting to look at some of these major things. It's very, very important that as a House, we cannot continue to be failing the good people of Ghana. If we do our work well, we'll be able to curb corruption. We'll be able to hold the executive to account for its stewardship, not only in terms of money, but in terms of the trust that the people repose in leadership. It's very, very important. In the meantime, we may have to change the wordings of our motions that we can do in-house, and then we adopt the reports. And when it comes to the appropriation bill, then you have the opportunity to debate the policies and principles and then come out with the approvals of the estimates. With this, I put the question. And the question is that those in favor of motion item 28, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. We now move to item 29. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, even before we take the motion, in your remarks, you raised the issue of the Office of Special Prosecutor and some discussions that took place earlier in this House. Mr. Speaker, I think that this House, as a body, needs to take some firm decision on the issue of the institution of the Office of Special Prosecutor and make sure that we take advantage and realign our Constitution properly. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the office arrested and detained a legal practitioner by the name Mr. Martin Kwebu. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that that practitioner had publicly criticized the manner in which the special prosecutor was going about performing his functions. He was invited, and I'm told that at the entrance to the office of the special prosecutor, he sought to address the media, which was objected to by the security detail at the office. And I think there was some altercation between him and the security responsible for the building that houses the special prosecutor. Subsequently, it was ordered that he should be detained. It took the intervention of most Ghanaians on social media and people calling the special prosecutor and demanding that he should release the legal practitioner. Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader, the difficulty the House has is that this was extensively deliberated upon, led by your Majority Chief Whip. And so it will be like we are repeating what was said. For emphasis, you want it for emphasis? Well, if that's the sense of the House, I will grant him the opportunity, because I have a few things to say about this matter. But Majority Leader, they say for emphasis, you could go on. Yes.
Speaker, I support the Majority Leader fully in recanvassing the issues. And Speaker, he should do that with all the diligence, and we support him. Please proceed.
Honorable members, this matter is so endemic that it doesn't deal with any regime. Let's all be honest. It cuts across all the regimes and even goes beyond the constitutional bodies or even the OSP. to a culture even in the Ghana Police Service, the military, in fact, the security agencies. They think that when somebody is invited, the person is arrested. And the law is very clear on this matter. So please, don't let's bring partisanship into it. Let's look at it as we have all experienced it over the years and try to prescribe the way forward. So, Majority Leader, you may go on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, so the lawyer Martin Kwebu was subsequently released last night, but it raises fundamental issues about the very existence of that office. Mr. Speaker, I recall vividly in this chamber when the proposal to establish the Office of Special Prosecutor was presented. I opposed it. I opposed it. The Hansard will bear me out because I took a position that it is unconstitutional to strip the Attorney General of the power to be responsible for the prosecution of criminal cases. Even though there was a contrivance to struggle to appear to be aligning with the language of the Constitution by nuancing the processes for the appointment of the special prosecutor and to say that the actual special prosecutor is being nominated by the Attorney General for approval by the Parliament. So in that sense, the exercise of the prosecutorial powers is being done by the OSP with the authorization of the Attorney General. It still doesn't make sense. The fact that we had to struggle and nuance the whole process clearly betrays the fact that we knew we were doing something that didn't sit well with our constitutional architecture. Mr. Speaker, the office has been in existence for how many years now? Close to 8 years. Tell me what is really the achievement of that office. What has been the achievement of that office? I cannot see my way clear in terms of the achievement of that office. I have consistently held the position that fighting corruption is not about littering the place with institutions. It is the political commitment of those who lead that fights corruption, not the designations of institutions that have been established. I believe that it is high time that this Parliament reconsiders its decision to approve the establishment of the Office of Special Prosecutor. I think that we should abolish it. I honestly think we should abolish it because we've experimented it and we cannot see any achievement. Major cases of clear corruption. Up to date, the office has not been able to do anything. So it cannot do anything. If the institution of Attorney General that we establish in our Constitution is adequately resourced and protected by Parliament and held accountable by Parliament, I believe that that office will equally deliver. No ministry, no office is established. If you look at the cabinet, no office is expressly established by this Constitution apart from the Attorney General and Minister for Justice. It is the only one that is actually a constitutional entity. And so it is an entity that this Parliament should ensure that it is resourced and protected so that it stands above ordinary ministries and can ensure that criminality is dealt with in this country. Look at the budgeting. If we agree that a prosecutor fighting corruption needs to be resourced. Why have we not been resourcing the Attorney General? Why do we establish an entity out of the functions of the Attorney General and resource them more than the Attorney General? And even after doing that, it is still not delivering. So, Mr. Speaker, yesterday I'm told, I didn't see it, but I'm told, that your predecessor, the Right Honorable Michael Quay, who spoke here on TV3, indeed recommended that this House should abolish it, that we should use a private member's bill to abolish it. Mr. Speaker, let me sound a warning that abolishing it will not let off the hook, not let off the hook those who we are considering prosecuting for violations of the law when it comes to corruption. I can assure you that abolishing the office of special prosecutor will not let off anybody that is found culpable or who has violated any of the laws of this Ghana when it comes to financial accountability. Zacchaeus will not be let off the hook. I can assure you. So people should not see the call for the abolition of the office of special prosecutor as an indication that those who are going to be held accountable will be let off the hook. Indeed, I will ensure that the process is even expedited. But I am strongly of the conviction that the office of special prosecutor should be abolished. That we are going to do it through a private member's bill as advised by Michael Quay, or that we will call on the executive to expedite a bill that we will consider and approve to abolish it. That is for us as a House to decide. But I think that it is high time we realize that that constitutional experiment is futile. To say that because the Attorney General is appointed by the President and is a member of a political party, that he will not be functional or effective in fighting corruption. The OSP, is he coming from space? Who is nominating him? The same political process is going to generate the occupant of the office of special prosecutor. So he will not be freed of that political pressure. If we want to be serious about fighting corruption, let's do it. Political leadership at the highest level must lead. This government has been in office for about 11 months now. Mr. Speaker, we haven't reported a single scandal. And we haven't reported a single scandal because of the political commitment to ensure accountability. And we are available. Show me any scandal and we will take the person on. Mr. Speaker, political corruption is a function of political leadership. If political leadership is determined not to be corrupt, they will not be corrupt. And when they are corrupt, they will hold each other accountable. It's not about creating fanciful institutions and giving them fanciful names. We have seen it. And big budgets with all sorts of perks. We've seen it. It's lived out and it's not working. Let's go back to what the Constitution has ordained. The money that we are giving to the Office of Special Prosecutor, let's resource the Attorney General's office. And I'm sure that this particular Attorney General will produce the kind of results that we expect of him. As it is now, there is some confusion in the system. Which corruption cases should the OSP, handle? Which one should the Attorney General handle? Which corruption cases should the YOCO investigate and which one should the OSP investigate? When there's a corruption case and one runs and then places its hands on it, then the other is clearly, disabled from dealing with it. Even if the one that has rushed first to take it is obviously not politically committed to fighting it. So there's clear confusion. Institutions obstructing each other. Powers blocking each other. So I think that we should use this opportunity to streamline it let one person lead the fight against corruption as stipulated by this constitution. And that is the Attorney General, and that is the Minister for Justice, and that is what is provided for in our constitution. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, this is a very important matter, but before we continue, let me acknowledge the presence of some distinguished guests, our colleagues and brothers and sisters from the Parliament of Liberia. We have 4 of them, led by Honorable Professor Thomas Romeo. The last name is Kuya. He's the head of the delegation and is the chairman of the election and inauguration committee. Yes, please, you are most welcome. We also have Honorable Ellen Ato Ray, who is the chairperson for the Women Legislative Caucus of Liberia. The Councillor at Law, Ramses T. Kubuya. He is a rep of the Law Reform Commission of Liberia. And then the Councillor at Law, Ernestine Morgan, the representative from the National Electoral Commission. On behalf of the Parliament of Ghana, I warmly welcome you to your own country, the Republic of Ghana, and I wish you all the best. Take time not only to learn, but also to feel the pulse of the life of Ghana. I was there not long ago when you had those crises, and I'm sure my good friend, the speaker now, is managing, even though it's a difficult situation. A lot of our members visit you almost every weekend, and some of them say that Liberia is their second home. So please, you are warmly welcome. Yes, let me listen to Honorable Abu Jinapo on this matter before I come to the Minister for Local Government.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity, as you've rightly pointed out, to contribute to this very important subject. So, Speaker, first of all, I think it's absolutely important that we point out that the intendment and the motivation behind the Akufo-Addo government's effort and decision to create this office was a noble one. So, Speaker, I was Deputy Chief of Staff at the time this office was created, and I was very much involved in the deliberations and discussions leading up to the establishment of the office. And the general intent, Mr. Speaker, was really, as is captured by Hansard, was to ensure that we had a dedicated office which was focused on fighting corruption, unraveling corruption, investigating corruption, and punishing corruption. Mr. Speaker, you will agree that in some jurisdictions, particularly in the American jurisdiction, the concept of special prosecutor is very common. And then in Africa, you have South Africa. Mr. Speaker, yes, I take the point the majority there is made, and also to say that the legal question, in my view, Mr. Speaker, is not absolutely settled. Because if you look at Article 88 of our national constitution, Mr. Speaker, particularly Article 88.4, where all prosecutorial powers, criminal prosecutorial powers, are vested in the Attorney General. Mr. Speaker, today in our country, police prosecutors conduct criminal prosecutions. IOCO conduct criminal prosecutions. Yes, several institutions, SNIT and others, conduct criminal prosecutions. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, the question which arises is whether or not the Office of the Special Prosecutor is exercising delegated prosecutorial powers. Mr. Speaker, the answer to that, I think, is still at large, and I'll leave it at that. But in any event, Mr. Speaker, it is this Parliament it is this Parliament that enacted a law to establish the office of Special Prosecutor. Mr. Speaker, that said, and by that I say that I do not have today conclusive answers to the legal questions. They were deliberated upon. They may not have been grounded. They may have been grounded. But the intention and the intent of President Akufo-Addo and his government is one that I believe we should celebrate, which is that he intended to set up an office dedicated to fighting corruption. Mr. Speaker, today, the question, has the office of Special Prosecutor 8 or 9 years down the road achieved results? Or, Mr. Speaker, do they have any significant achievements when it comes to the fight against corruption? Those are matters before this House. Those are matters before the country. Those are matters that I believe the jury is out there. Has it been a successful office? Has it not? Mr. Speaker, the question is still at large, and we all have a take on it. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the leader of government business, the leader of this House, the majority leader, has had cause to rise up in this House to indicate that the office of Special Prosecutor is not an office which is fit for purpose. The Speaker, he's even gone a step further. He's gone to the extent of indicating that the office of Special Prosecutor is an unconstitutional body. It's an unconstitutional office. That's exactly the point the majority leader is making. That the existence of the office of Special Prosecutor is at variance with the provisions of our national constitution. The Speaker, 1 year down the road, they build an office. They have a super majority. What are they telling us? What are they telling us? The Speaker, this country, with the greatest respect, is sick and tired of talk. Talk, talk, talk. The leader of government business is not just the majority leader. He's a leader of government business. He's a leader of this House. He sits in cabinet. The Speaker, he has indicated that when the bill was tabled before this House, he as member of Parliament, member of the 8th Parliament, the Speaker, he said he opposed the establishment of the office of Special Prosecutor. And he indicates that his party, the NDC, opposed the establishment of the office of Special Prosecutor. I have just indicated the policy rationale or the policy motivation for the establishment of that office by Akufo-Addo government. Just because you yourself, you've indicated that you were also opposed to it. Just because today, the political party that opposed the establishment of the office, the member of that political party who opposed it in the 8th Parliament, today majority leader, leader of government business, in the wisdom of the Ghanaian people, they have given them a super majority. Super majority. They have majority in this House. They have a super majority. Why? What's happening? What's happening in our country, Mr. Speaker? You just made that point about allocation. And you made a point about reset and the fact that we may struggle with the reset. Too much talking. The country needs action. If you believe the office of Special Prosecutor is not fit for purpose, you have the majority, you call us micro-minority, we are mighty minority indeed. Repeal it. What are you waiting for? 1 year down the road, we are still being given sermons and being given lectures and being told that this office is unconstitutional. Mr. Speaker, because with the greatest of respect, one of their own was touched. Because one of their own was touched. And Mr. Speaker, you just made that point not too long ago, that we should be careful when we enact laws and when we apply the laws. Mr. Speaker, because when you're on the right-hand side of the speaker, and certain actions are being taken, Mr. Speaker, many a times we just tend to think that it will not affect us. Mr. Speaker, needless to point out that the history is here. The history is there for us to appreciate that the law on causing financial loss to the state, Mr. Speaker, is only caught up with people or persons from the side which passed the law, which is why the point the Speaker made is a very important point. The law, when it's respected and when it's applied fairly, works for all of us, regardless of where you find yourself. Of course, lawyer Martin Kpebu is somebody I know very well. And indeed, yesterday, Mr. Speaker, when I heard the news that he had been arrested by the Office of Special Prosecutor, I even attempted to reach out to him. But it should never be the case, Mr. Speaker, that when Wontumi is arrested and put behind bars and told to bring bail conditions of 100 million Ghana cedis, and he stays in prison for 1 month, 2 months, Mr. Speaker, when we all know too well that basic teaching of law, criminal law, tells you that bail should never be used as a form or a means of punishment. That one, it is okay. Mr. Speaker, when Osei is still in custody today because he's been subjected to onerous and reasonable bail conditions which he cannot meet. Mr. Speaker, he's been told to satisfy a bail condition of 650 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, that one is fine. When bail should not be used as a tool of punishment. We didn't hear the majority leader. Mr. Speaker, when several other people, look, Mr. Speaker, we have seen it in this country several times. Government changes, and then some of these measures are put in place. Political opponents are put behind bars. When Paul Adumochi was arrested by the OSP, the Office of Special Prosecutor, because allegedly Paul Adumochi had been critical of the office, when he was arrested and put behind bars, Mr. Speaker, and some of us raised our voices, the majority leader's voice and the majority side was mute. Because today, it is lawyer Martin Kpebu. Mr. Speaker, when the law is applied unfairly against Wontumi, it is bad. When it's applied unfairly against Osei, it is bad. When it's applied against Paul Adumochi, it is bad. When it is applied against Martin Kpebu, Mr. Speaker, it is indeed bad. We make laws and make good laws to the best of our ability for all of us, and we respect the law for all of us. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by indicating that what happened yesterday is a wake-up call to all of us. That when the law is applied unfairly against a citizen, it doesn't matter whether he's from the north or the south. Mr. Speaker, it doesn't matter whether he's an NDC member or an MPP member. Let us insist, that is our only safeguard, that if the Honorable Mahama Yarga is suspected to have committed an offense, he should be taken through proper due process. His rights should be respected. If it is Abu Jinapo, I should be taken through due process. My rights should be respected. Mr. Speaker, that is the only way we can build a civilized, prosperous nation. That's the only way. It should not be the case that the Office of Special Prosecutor suddenly should be scrapped because Martin Kpebu is being taken through a raw deal. No. And I conclude, Mr. Speaker, with this quote. With this quote by Martin Niola. And I quote, Mr. Speaker, he said of Nazi Germany, first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out. They came for the unionists, and I did not speak out. They came for the Jews, and I did not speak out. And when they came for me, there was no one to speak out for me. Mr. Speaker, end the quote. I thank the majority leader for the sentiments he's expressed. And Mr. Speaker, I thank you too for the opportunity you've given. And I thank you also for the sentiments you've expressed. Mr. Speaker, today, the 4th of December, the super majority join us, we, the advocates of rule of law, the bastions of rule of law, the originators of rule of law, the promoters of rule of law, the doyens of rule of law. Shake off your revolutionary tendencies a bit. Shake it off and join us, Mr. Speaker, to let the rule of law prevail. When it prevails for Honorable Mahama Yarga, it prevails for Abu Jinapo, it prevails for all of us, all the people of Ghana. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please, as leaders of the country, if we don't change our attitude, we will never achieve anything. That is the biggest problem. I don't think there's moral authority in this House to pontificate on this matter. Please, let's all start afresh. Let's all start afresh. I'm surprised you are not Honorable Samuel Abu Jinapo. I was expecting you to quote traditional wisdom, not from Germany. Because we have it here too. In our traditional norms and wise saying, we use 3 kettle. You are aware that used to fight the lion. And the lion was able to go in between them and said, it's the red cow. It's telling you the black cow. That is because of its strength that they overpower the lion. You know about that. You are not quoting that. You are quoting Germany because of the formal education. That has changed all of you from being Ghanaian. You are talking about the rule of law. It started long before colonial rule. And you are quoting later day saints. That's the challenge we have. But I don't want any family listening here. So I'll give it to the minister. I'll give it to the minister. That is why I say family. I don't want that fatherly respect here. I'll allow the Minister for Local Government. We just finished listening to Honorable Samuel Abu Jinapo.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, before I proceed to make some few comments, let me thank the Honorable Mahama Yariga, the majority leader of this House,